Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another week of Degen Hours action. This is the Wednesday roundup. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to recap everything from the Mortal Lock Parlay to our cards and then all the action because there was a lot that happened last week and we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into the episode. The Mortal Lock Parlay last week did not hit.
Yep.
It did not hit. We really can't hit one of these. The only one
used to that sentence.
The only one we hit. The only one we hit was a 3-legger. It was when 2 people were relegated, and we paid that out to you guys. But this week did not hit, and I want to recap it real quick. Yeah, we're terrible. Mario, we'll start with you. You can't miss.
No,
you actually can't.
The best.
I'm trying to do my part.
You have a golden touch.
I mean, I've never seen anyone do their part more than you doing your part. You had the Steelers -3.
Yeah.
Shout out Steelers for covering. Never a doubt. Never a doubt.
Actually, when you got Jordan Love throwing the ball,
it's more
never
like
enough.
shout out Mario for choosing the Steelers.
Fair enough.
That's
true.
Fair enough. Regardless, 10-2.
Bro, like, if we say we're gonna give out free picks for the Mortal, just bet it, and that's actually gonna win you money. That's only free.
Yeah, that was our consensus pick of the week too.
Oh, yeah.
Consensus pick Steelers -3.
6-2, I think now.
Something like that. It's insane. The numbers are crazy.
Really good.
Our consensus picks over 60-something%. Mario's Mortal over 83%. I mean that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Congrats on that. We'll skip over to mine. We'll get to you in a sec. Miami stayed within the number the entire game. It was my game of the year. Game of the year. They were within the number the entire game. I actually said exactly how that game was going to go. I said it was going to be an ugly game, never outside the number. Something would happen, but Florida State wouldn't cover.
Wait, did you give out the side and the total?
I did.
Side total.
Yeah, side total. More importantly, the Mortal hit. So 5-7 in Mortals now. Not great overall, but since we were relegated, 4-2 in my last 6.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
The only two I missed, by the way, were the 2 overs I gave for Mortals. So done giving overs for Mortals.
Only unders.
Unders plus the points. This is where we live. In the grimy Mortals. That's what I like to see. We're going to skip over Ryan as well. Go to Tate.
Smart.
Tate hit his Mortal as well. Oklahoma, never a sweat. Easy win.
Never.
Never a sweat.
Great pick.
It was a murder.
Yeah, it was a murder in not Savannah, but
No, you're not Savannah, but
Oklahoma
in
murder.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, 6-6 on the year. You're at 50%. So it could be worse.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump to Michael. We're jumping around here. Michael had Washington. He finally got out of relegation. He was 4 weeks relegated.
Yep.
Came back, won a game. Now he's in the parlay. Gave Washington. They didn't cover because they dropped the interception on the goal line.
Also missed a field goal. I mean, it was.
There's a couple of ways that they would have covered, but the most painful was that third quarter pick 6, which should have happened, and then
he drops it behind
Alfonso whatever, like too bad. You should never play a game again. Because his name is two something. He sucks.
Bars.
I mean, dude, Washington had an outstanding second half. They literally shut them down. They didn't score.
Yeah.
And then Alfonso, you suck.
4-8 on the season for Mortals.
I
so
suck.
Not great.
I suck just like Alfonso.
You won
sucked.
one of your last 5.
But this week.
I'm sure. This week's gonna be tough.
But this week, it's different.
But we have something to talk about moving over to Ryan's Mortal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You missed again. This is the USC over, missed by 10 points.
Yep.
You are now relegated for the second time this year. You're 4-8 on the season. So you will not be in the parlay. I didn't know it was possible for our best bettor, 55% overall, to get relegated twice. That's crazy. You missed 3 straight Mortals in 12 weeks. That's like
I have no idea.
twice.
Every time I pick a pick, the entire world just thinks it's the most amazing pick. Like no one's like, oh, it's a bad pick. Like it just looks so good, and it misses every time. I'm dead. I'm just dead. Like there's nothing inside me. There's like a little robot controlling me. I'm just a body moving. Like I'm dead. There's nothing to it. This week I'm not even gonna say a word on my Mortal. I'm gonna have to whisper it to someone because I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh yeah, we need maybe next season we can make some rules about getting relegated twice. We don't have a rule, so you can get back in the parlay if you win, but twice in 12 weeks, losing 3 straight is crazy.
Hey, I believe you can get back. I believe in you.
That's crazy.
It is weird doing that.
One thing I want you to do. You said if you missed your Mortal and got relegated twice, you were giving out $100 to a subscriber.
Oh yeah.
So the floor is yours. You're now relegated twice.
Who won the $100?
All right, so a little drum roll, please. The winner of the $100 is Edward Pollock. 7171.
Shout out Ed.
Shout out Ed.
Comments on every video.
All you gotta do is
Friend
comment,
follow.
like, subscribe. You'll get a free $100 for me being a fucking moron. So There you go.
Shout out
Ed.
Ed. He comments fade Mike
Literally,
every
fade
single
Mike. Here's
every
a Christmas
video.
present for you.
To
You're
be
welcome.
fair, also on that topic of fade Mike, Ed, I hope you won $1 million last week because I suck.
Yeah. Fair enough. But as you can see, all you have to do is comment on the videos, and we're just giving you money. We didn't even hit a thing as a group. This was just Ryan deciding to give out $100 to a subscriber. So if you're watching this and you're not commenting, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
what
it's
are you
free
doing?
money, 2 clicks, whatever it is.
Easy.
Easy. To get into the cards last week, let's do a quick recap. I'll start with myself. 11 and 15 in college, brutal week. Absolutely brutal week. We hit our mortal though, which was huge. So I was actually up on the week.
worst.
Yeah, 47% on the year for college. 7 and 7 NFL, which was kind of funny because I forgot to bet 2 of my games. So I was 7 and 5 on my bets, the 2 that didn't hit. So
That's funny.
it felt like a good week for me. and I hit my biggest NFL bet of the week, which is Broncos plus 7.5. Shout out
Broncos
Josh
country.
Allen Broncos country. That's right.
That's
Shout
right.
out Josh Allen. That guy loves throwing to the other team. 50% on the year in NFL. Overall, 121, 130, and 7 for 48%. Not good. Not good.
Come back as real.
Yeah, comebacks real. Ryan, you on the board had a good week. Like
Yeah, of
for
course.
picks wise.
A number
Great
of
week,
wins
yeah.
and losses.
Yeah.
Great.
So you were 14-10 college, 54% overall, but you missed your college mortal.
Yes.
Then you were 7 and 5 NFL, but you missed your NFL game of the year.
Correct.
So,
So
yeah.
I mean,
I was 21 and 15 on the week. I was down way more than that. Like
the world collapsed.
No, there's nothing worse. Like I shouldn't even be on the pod anymore. It feels like I should just take like a quick vacation, you know? Because like I'm broke. There's nothing good. Like I can't
But your
afford.
cards are so good.
I know.
cards
I
are
mean,
good.
My
It's
morals,
crazy.
I'm done with everything.
You
I'm
gotta
just
stop
betting my
game of the
cards.
year. You just bet everything the same unit.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
I'm
standard picks.
betting $5 on every game.
No emotion.
Yeah, okay.
Zero.
140, 115, and 5 on the season. So
That's
huge
ridiculous.
season, 55% overall, absolutely insane. Tate, 11 and 12 in college. So pretty midweek, 51% on the year for that. Crappy pick of the week though moves to 9-2 and 1.
Bang.
Watch out, Mario.
Bing,
Yeah.
bing,
No,
boom.
dude, me and Tate,
No, I know, seriously.
you just
yeah.
got to parlay his crappy pick of
Didn't
the
we say this last week?
We said it last
Mario's,
week.
we did it.
Mario's Mortal Lock and my crappy pick of the week. Just
Parlay.
every
And then
week.
we
fade,
parlayed
and
it both.
fade Mike.
And fade Mike.
And then
Oh,
you're a
yep.
billionaire.
That should just be our moral.
Wow, a 3
That should be.
that should be. Yeah.
Wow, that is actually.
Drop a comment if you want a separate parlay that we put like $25 on, which is Mario's
My
mortal.
mortal opposite.
Yeah, we fade their mortals, his mortal, we bet, and then crappy pick of the week. It's a 4-legger. It's the strong. It might be the strongest parlay you can get. 5 and 5 NFL, so pretty average there. 50% on the year.
Most
NFL
midweek ever, yeah.
Yeah, 115, 111, and 8 for 51% on the year. So you're back. You're above 51, or you're above 50%.
They keep saying 51%. I'll live
stay
there
true
for
to
the
your
rest of
word.
the year.
You'll take
Profit.
it.
Bang.
You'll take it. Mike, 6 and 9 in college. Another brutal week. 46% on the year
Not.
for college. 3 and 7 in NFL. So even worse.
Yeah, way rub it in.
Even worse.
The crown is gone.
Yeah, 52% in
Oh,
NFL.
dude, I'm terrible.
Yeah, you're
I
bad.
I don't deserve a crown.
85, 91, and 5, 48% of the year. So nothing's going well for you right now.
Yeah, there's no. I'm not happy.
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? at
No.
No, he's not good.
No, they don't.
No.
Don't.
But he's
Yeah,
in
it's
the
hard, it's hard to have a light at the end of the tunnel when it's never really been bright out. So
You're
know.
just digging straight down.
yeah.
Mario, 15 and 12
Yep.
in
Ooh.
college.
Ooh,
Good week.
hey.
Brings you up to 49% in college.
Bang.
2 and 4 NFL.
I know, dude. It was tough.
Yeah, that was tough. 50% on the year in NFL. So your total, you're still edging that 50% number.
No, he's
year
going to
long,
tease
yeah.
it all year.
123, 125
Yeah.
for 49.6%. 2 games off.
Yeah.
Is this the week? Do you get above 50%?
It has to be.
We're gonna
It
go.
has to
We're gonna go back above 50%.
Bang.
But just to end the season. End the season with a good mortal
Right
record
at
above
50.
50%.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Lay the groundwork.
Yeah.
We already said consensus pick of the week. Unbelievable. Steelers -3. You got to be betting those as well as the mortals. And for the upset recap, I mean, nothing hit. We didn't hit an upset.
Yeah.
I don't need to recap
Down the
anything.
unit for everyone.
I-
I'm
can't.
0-11.
But dude, like a couple of them are sweats.
I mean, Virginia.
Sweats. Oh,
Virginia.
No,
Sweat.
Virginia was a sweat.
Colorado.
Colorado.
Colorado
Sweat.
sweat.
Yeah.
TCU.
And we were getting
Sweat.
and their juice on those games. We just can't
I
put
know.
it together.
Oh.
I'm down 11 units on mortals. 0-11.
Wait, we add that to the parlay. 5 like.
It'd be like minus 10,000. My mortal this week is plus 3,500.
You mean you're upset?
Wait, what?
My upset.
Wait,
It's
what do
plus-
you mean?
It's plus
I don't even
3,500
know what kind of line that is.
for my upset.
Where did you find this line?
But yeah, what do you? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
WNBA.
It's plus
It's
3,500.
like probably Chattanooga to beat Alabama. or
No,
something.
it's actually juice.
it like
Is
a
it Georgia
golf-
State
like-
over
No,
LSU?
you'll understand. You'll
like a-
understand. Watch Thursday. Tune in Thursday when we give out our upset of the week. You're gonna want to bet this game. Trust me, it's got
I'm
juice all
betting
over
it
it.
if it's 3,000.
It's got
put
juice all
them-
over it. Mike, throw up the overall
win,
units
350.
for the upset parlay,
Units
but
of shame.
for the upset picks.
Yeah, it's
Now I want to talk what happened last week. So let's get into the action. The newest college football rankings came out yesterday.
Little
and
shakeup.
absolutely electric. People might not think it's important, but I kind of want to dive into why this is. So, in case you were living under a rock, here's the new rankings. The top four shake up at number 1. Ohio State, formerly number 1. They moved Georgia to number 1 for the first time in the college football
Doesn't make sense.
playoff rankings, which is pretty big. Just to follow up, round out the top 6: Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, Florida State 4, Washington, Oregon 5, 6. So not a change from 3 to 6, but the 1 and 2 flipped. And I just want to open this up. Does Georgia moving to number 1, just completely destroy the Big Ten's chances of getting 2 teams in if it sticks like that and Georgia doesn't lose? And B, does this now open the door for Alabama and Georgia to make it to the college football playoff?
Yeah, I think this hurts the Pac-12 really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. The Big Ten, it was never a great chance at a 1 loss if it was Michigan, Ohio State was going to get in anyways.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to get in. It definitely hurts their chances. But I don't get why they put Georgia at 1. I really don't get it. Like, you knew their schedule coming up. You knew if they were going to win out anyways, you're going to keep them in.
They blew them out last week.
Well,
But, like, Ohio State, like, why would you put Ohio State at 1 when you know the schedule's coming up and they're going to blow out the teams? You know, it's like, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's not like Ohio State had a bad
It sounds
week. Like Ohio State blew out.
It sounds like
They
50%
covered.
of the people were SEC voters.
Well, we know the College Football Playoff Committee loves the SEC.
Yeah.
They love the
It hurts.
SEC. And I'm just looking at this. I mean, they have Missouri at 9
Yeah.
and Ole Miss at 13. They're giving Georgia 2 really good wins.
Yeah.
At the end of the season that high. Bama goes in and beats them. Bama's for sure in. The 4 spot, I mean, if Washington or Oregon drop a game before the Pac-12 championship,
Yeah, it's
or even an Oregon win,
USC's out. UCLA's out. Utah's gonna be out. Arizona's on the fringe.
everyone's dropping. Florida State looks like they might have a walk. I mean, although
They'll be-
Louisville's up there,
They'll be-
and then I think this kills the Big 12, like you said. It
Yeah,
almost
well, Big 12 is done.
the Big 12 is just done.
no, there's nothing.
What happens if Louisville beats Florida State?
Neither of them
Neither
are
of them
in.
are in.
It's the SEC.
And then-
It's the same thing.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
the
Also,
only
Louisville's 2 losses.
Oh, and then Bama would take that kind of spot.
Louisville
Would
has
take
one
that
loss.
fill-in.
Well,
No,
well, first
Louisville
the
has 1 loss.
undefeated
Oh, it's one?
Pac-12.
Yeah.
Would,
Yeah, Louisville's 11.
undefeated
Or 10-1.
Pac-12 would
But I
take the
saw
4th
6 and
spot.
2.
What'd you say?
I think an undefeated Pac-12 would probably
Well,
get
if
the 4th spot.
Washington- well, yeah.
But then
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Oregon beats Washington,
If
then
Washington
obviously
holds
then
on,
it's Bama.
The only way, if Bama wins the SEC and then you have undefeated Big Ten, which you will, undefeated Pac-12 and undefeated FSU.
Well, they've got to
Of
be
course.
trying to plan a little bit for what happened last year because they probably were like, shoot, we cannot have a national championship like TCU Georgia like we did last year.
Yeah,
no.
I think they really want Bama and Georgia in there.
Yeah.
What happens if Bama beats Georgia, close, gritty game, Washington wins out, Florida State wins out, and then you have your Big Ten champion?
Then Georgia's out.
Georgia, really?
Georgia's out. Yeah, for sure.
You think Florida State and Washington's schedule is harder
Yeah,
than
well,
yours?
undefeated champion.
Georgia
will-
will have 3 top 15 wins and 1.
Ohio
loss to
State
the
would go to
third.
1.
Yeah, it'd be Ohio State 1. It would be Florida State 2, Washington 3, or Washington or Bama 3, and 4. It would be some order of those 2.
I wonder if
That's
because
crazy.
like
Yeah.
who Florida State beat, it's just gonna be LSU.
Nobody.
right?
Nobody. LSU's the only ranked team Florida
what I'm
State
saying.
would
That
have
was
beat.
week 1.
Yeah, and it was week
Yeah,
1.
so Florida
That
State
versus
drops
Georgia,
any game.
undefeated for 3 years, and only loss was to the number 3 team in the country, 4 team
Yeah.
in the country. That's good. It's gonna be gnarly.
It'll be crazy.
I think they're screwed.
When they switched the 1 and the 2 this week, I was like, oh my god.
They're screwed.
This is crazy because we were always saying the situation was maybe too Big Ten. I think that's done if this stays the same.
No, I think it's kind of killed it.
But well, it depends
Yeah.
on the games too.
That was-
Because if Georgia just kills Bama and then one of the Pac-12s don't sneak in, and
Totally, but
Yeah.
the way Bama's looking, it's setting it
Yeah.
up for some interesting scenarios. But like we said,
God,
a lot can
what if-
happen. A lot can happen. What's that?
Hopeful thinking. So, like, perfect world scenario.
Yeah.
Because, like, always thinking long.
Think about Texas.
All right, yeah. All right, so, no, hear me out.
Hold on,
Hear me out.
let him cook. Let him
Alabama
cook.
loses to Chattanooga
No.
Let him land. Let him land.
Let him cook.
Bama beats Georgia, right? So, and obviously that kind of puts Bama into what we foresaw as like the 4 spot or whatever.
Yeah, 3 of the
Let's say Louisville beats Florida State, so that would
Both of them are
knock
out.
Florida State out. Let's say Washington loses to Oregon, so that's
Oregon's in.
that's equal losses on Pac-12.
Oregon's in.
side.
Yeah. Oregon's at the 6 right now.
Yeah.
If
They're ahead
they
of
beat
Texas,
if
so
they
they're
beat the
saying
5,
if they
they're
win
in.
out, they're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and at that point, it would be Ohio
SEC
State.
champion, Big Ten champion, Pac-12, either side if they both win out, whichever side wins out.
Yeah.
And
Either Georgia or
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Texas will
another
not make
SEC.
it over
Yeah.
a Georgia 1 loss or, in my opinion,
That would be an
national
interesting spot,
God,
though.
that'd be-
if it
yeah,
comes
that's
down to
interesting
a
because-
1-loss Georgia or a Texas team who beat
That
the
the
SEC
team
champion.
that gave
But, like,
Georgia that one loss.
in their games have beat up on top 15 opponents. Texas hasn't. They have
The
one
only
good
game
win.
it's Alabama.
One good win on the year.
Yeah.
It sets up for a lot of interesting spots, and we're going to get into this on the
Interesting.
Thursday episode. But a game I think can completely destroy the Pac-12's chances of getting a team in is happening this week.
Yep.
Washington, Oregon State.
Yep.
If Washington, who are 2.5 point underdogs right now,
Love that.
if they just lose by 2.5 or 2.5, whatever, on the spread, they lose this game, I think it completely eliminates the Pac-12 as a whole. Because Oregon beating a 1-loss Washington,
Doesn't mean anything.
not
Doesn't mean
nearly as
anything. Yeah.
impressive, and Oregon State gets up in that conversation of maybe actually making the Pac-12 championship if Washington drops another. So very interesting scenarios we can get to. Like we said last week, all the top teams roll. Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan all roll. One thing I wanted to bring up, has anyone looked at Penn State since the Ohio State game?
Barely
They
win.
suck,
They barely
dude.
win.
I mean,
I mean, they've
They
lost 2
suck.
games in their last 3, and then they barely won the second one.
Well, their defense just fell apart after they played Ohio State. They're just
Yeah, the
they-
Big
they
Ten.
just don't- they
The
don't
Big
have a
Ten's an
defense
interesting
anymore.
one. I
I
mean,
mean, it's not like they played bad against just a better Michigan team, but it's not like it was 42-7. Like
That Michigan
Penn
game.
State played great.
That game
defense.
went
Like,
exactly how I said.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
under and like.
I said
gritty,
first half
weird.
was going to be close, and then Michigan just pulls away in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't like a murder gritty. Also, Michigan is just. That game said a lot about Michigan. I'll talk about it later when Michigan plays Ohio State. But
you think that game said a lot about Michigan? That game
Yeah.
didn't show me anything because I think Penn State's terrible.
Yeah.
I think they were the most overrated team. Like, what were they, 6?
Yeah, they were number
They're,
6.
in no world were they ever the 6th best team in the country.
No.
In no world.
I don't even think they're top 10.
They aren't currently, but yeah, I don't even think as a team
Yeah.
they would beat a lot of teams ranked below them right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Penn State's a little better than that. You kind of get shaken up, and your whole season pretty much gets flushed down the toilet after 2 games.
But I mean, they hadn't beat anyone.
And
They
neither
had
did-
no-
I know.
and neither did Michigan.
Michigan hasn't lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't beat anyone but you haven't lost, that's kind of like a thing.
Then you're
you know?
just like Georgia. You
Yeah,
know?
you're just Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, they've also now all of a sudden
I mean, yeah,
they have
they've
these,
beat a
they have
few.
these 2 quad 1 wins that are going to look insane on
Yeah.
their schedule. And we said Georgia didn't even have a good schedule to start the
No.
year. But all of a sudden the committee's like, "Oh, here you go SEC." Like
Well, they're just they're pumping up SEC.
they
they're
are
trying
pumping
so
the
hard.
SEC teams.
Every year.
Missouri at 9 is kind of wild.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
Missouri's
it's so
not a
high.
half ranked team. in the
That's
country.
so
It's
high.
crazy because
They're
LSU waxed them, and LSU's 15 and Missouri's 9.
Yeah, they have LSU 15 even it's a little high.
It is high because our record is we have 3 losses. So, I mean, granted, our losses are tough teams, but
There's only so high you
But
can
still
put a
3
3
losses.
There's-
Yeah.
team. or
I don't.
three-loss
Yeah,
team.
I mean I say it was probably like the 15 to 18 range is probably where we should.
Probably the
be.
best 3-loss team in the country.
Oh, by a mile.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And shout out Clemson, best 4-loss team in the country.
Oh, God damn.
We are on fire. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
No, the Tigers are back.
Both Tigers. Are
Both
back.
Tigers.
We're so
Both
back.
Tigers.
I can't wait for next season.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for next season. A couple of things on college I want to touch on before we go to NFL. Texas is imploding. We touched on Texas's chance to make it. Your best player,
Yeah.
Brooks, tore his ACL.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks, end of the 3rd quarter last week. That
That's sad.
was so painful.
That game was a sweat.
Well, no, it actually wasn't a sweat.
Ooh,
We
it wasn't a
played
sweat. Yeah, it was not.
beautifully
Yeah,
in the
actually
first.
wasn't
Well, we played absolutely insane in the first half, and then Steve decided to just blow it.
You guys on a
and-
first name basis?
I mean,
So
not,
the definition of
oh,
a
dude,
sweat.
Steve fucking
Michael,
Steve sucks.
Mike, the
like
definition,
Steve,
Mike,
Steve
Mike,
fucking
Mike,
sucks
the
right now.
definition of a sweat is during the end of the game, the team that's 14-point dogs has a chance to win.
They were
Okay.
10
All right,
point
I'm sorry. I
Not a
didn't mean
sweat.
to. I
Not a
didn't mean
sweat.
to. Okay, yeah. Sweat. Definitely
It
a
was
sweat.
literally. I had the money line and I was sweating out.
I don't
No,
think
it
it was
was
that
sweaty as
sweaty.
hell.
I don't know.
It was
We
sweaty
lost
as
by
hell.
two.
It was not a
It was
good
a little
win.
sweaty. I mean, yeah, obviously they're never going to cover, but
That should have.
and I was never concerned that Texas was going to pull it out. Like, dude,
Yeah.
they were shutting down that team. Like, almost through through 3 quarters, like midway through the 3rd quarter, like the other team only had 82 total yards. Of
Yeah,
offense.
well,
No, yeah,
Like,
I'm saying at the end of the game they were up by 2.
That's kind of why.
No, I know,
That's
I know.
kind of why I'm saying.
Texas
That's why I
defense
was
clutched up.
blaming.
I thought they were gonna lose.
Like Sarkisian. It's like, dude, we can't be blowing. I mean, this is also a
what you do.
consistent. Yeah, this is a consistent
love
game.
it. It's just Texas.
We love to go
Well, we
up
knew
in the
about
first
this.
half,
Yeah.
This
and
ain't
then we
new.
just blow
This
it in the
ain't new.
second half.
This
Yeah,
ain't
it's,
new.
This ain't new.
it's the same shit. New week. It's
Yeah.
I'm game
And
old.
lastly, I wanted to touch on the current Heisman odds because there was a huge shakeup.
Oh,
in the last 2 weeks.
yeah.
We talked Heisman odds a couple weeks ago. The top 4 now, I'm going to read it out. Bo Nix is even money to win the Heisman, which is pretty crazy to me. That's pretty crazy to me. Michael Penix plus 300, Jaden Daniels plus 400, Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 450.
Marvin
2
Harrison
weeks
Jr.
ago, we gave out Marvin Harrison Jr. Was
Plus
it
1,300.
plus 11, plus 1,300,
Yeah,
something like that?
Something like that.
We said, if you think Ohio State is going to run the table, bet that number.
Yep.
He's now moved in the top 4.
He will move higher and higher.
Well, yeah.
Especially if I
You ha-
think my guess that the Pac-12 doesn't make college football
Yeah,
championship.
they're gone. And LSU's 3 losses.
You're not going to
Yeah.
put Jane Daniels LSU over.
I mean,
Dude, the guy had 3 touchdowns last week.
If you look at, I'm saying, if you look at the 3,
Hey, Jaden
teams
Daniels
above.
had a good game last week.
are they really going to give it to a 3-loss team?
600 yards of offense.
They're not
It's tough to
gonna
give
put
it to a
3
3-loss
somewhere.
team. I think Marvin Harrison is,
I love it.
based on these odds, he's not the front runner.
So sick.
He could-
I have him as the front runner.
I love it.
He's the front runner
I
for the
love
Heisman. But yeah,
He kind of has to be.
Well,
I think
the
if Oregon-
Heisman moment will be that Michigan game.
Is it
when
just the
does.
sickest thing in the world that we gave out 3 of the 4 favorites
preseason.
Preseason.
at like
The
Insane
sprinkle-
odds.
Marvin
Yeah,
Harrison
insane odds.
sprinkle at 3,500 was cracked out.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix. Bo Nix.
Me and Mike were up.
Michael
Yeah.
Penix.
Michael Penix. I mean, come on.
That's-
Come
You
on.
can't be sharper than this.
Come on,
You have
baby.
even money. You had plus 1,700,
Jaden
1,800.
Daniels, honorable mention.
Hey.
we can't hit any Mortal Log parlay, but
preseason props.
No, preseason we're so
Which
sharp.
are more
On fire.
profit than the Mortal
Oh,
Kombat.
totally.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
totally.
way
You just
more
have to
up on my
play the wing
preseason lines are looking so good compared to my record. So
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm going with that. Let's move to NFL. Quick pivot.
Yep.
But I'm going to stay with the Ohio State side of things. CJ Stroud is taking the NFL over.
Wow.
He is dominating. He's officially arrived.
Yeah.
Unreal game-winning drive yet again.
Yeah.
Another
Against
one
Joe Burrow.
against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Beat one outright. One
Burrow.
outright.
It's funny how this is happening. Like, you know how Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne were Clemson guys, and now they're Jags, and you're basically like a Jags fan.
Yep.
It's kind of like Ryan. You know, you guys are both Steelers fans, but now Ryan's kind of like Texans fan.
Oh,
Texans.
of course
And they're in the
it is.
same
it's like,
division.
So it's like
Yeah,
Steelers
yeah.
and
It's
Texans,
electric.
and then Jags and Steelers.
It's electric.
Yeah,
and they're
I
in the
love
same
it.
division.
No, it's actually the most beautiful thing ever.
Does anyone think? I mean, rookie of the year.
And I'm a
Oh, yeah.
Bengals half fan too.
yeah.
I'm in their division with
It's
the
all.
Steelers.
It's all like the
And
pointing at each
everything,
other.
yeah.
It's electric. Does
Pyramid
anyone
scheme.
think? I mean, rookie of the year is locked up.
Yeah.
Of course.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
throw it away.
I mean, he's-
Lock up the key. Put it away.
Let's open up a new door.
Should he be in the MVP conversation?
Not just be in.
Well,
should
I
be-
think he's in it.
he should be top 4.
Ooh.
Who, as a quarterback, if you think quarterback's going to win the award, most likely, who's been playing better than him as a quarterback?
There's not many.
By any means.
There's not many.
There's not many.
Clutchness,
I mean,
turnover team,
you're gonna
touchdowns,
have
interception
Mahomes
ratio.
up there.
Yeah, you'll throw
You're gonna
Mahomes,
have
you'll
Hurts up there.
You have Hurts,
I'm saying,
maybe
like-
Lamar. Like
the
you know.
fact that it's like
we could talk about Lamar.
the fact that you look up touchdown interception, it's like I think Hurts is like 15-8. Mahomes is like 16-9. Stroud is 14-1. I mean,
He's done more than one pick.
I mean 14-2. 14-2. He's doing 2 picks.
CJ Stroud is number 7 in MVP voting right now.
Like, that's a joke.
or in
For a
odds
rookie.
right now.
Oh.
Isn't the
Fire.
only rookie who's won it like Jim Brown or something?
Yeah, one rookie
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, that's
One rookie ever.
yeah, that's crazy. I
I'm
mean,
hammering that plus 2,000 by the way.
I think they have to
free.
probably win the division for
No,
him
just
to
make
get
the
MVP.
playoffs. I think it's just make the playoffs.
That'd be tough. I
Only
don't know.
4 rookie quarterbacks made the playoffs in the rookie year. Like actually
That'd be
starting
tough.
the full year.
That'd
It
be
was
crazy.
it was Angela, Cam Newton. I forgot the other 2.
Wow.
I think he'd have to do a lot.
Yeah, he'd have to keep this
Oh
going.
yeah, my
consistently.
odds are if he stays on this mountain, doesn't do, like
Yeah.
stays normal, which he's been doing for 9 weeks now. It's a long. You have a long history of doing it and make the playoffs. I mean, Houston was dead in the water, like literally. Dead in
Their
the
win
water.
total was like 5.
Yeah,
5 and a
I
half.
mean, I
They've
I
already
love
hit
it.
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Plus 2,000 is free.
A couple more things. 49ers stomped on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Stomped on the Jaguars.
Yeah. Jags +3 was
I
on
had
my
the
card.
I had the Jags.
Did
pick.
not-
Niners minus
it
3
did
was
not.
beautiful.
Quick note on that. I
Literally
mean,
easiest.
one of the weirdest like discrepancies I've seen, because one of the things that we look at are percentages of bets and money. Like, I think I saw the 49ers had like 66% of the bets,
Oh, yeah,
but
Jags had
only
all
like
the money.
14% of the money.
Jags had so much money on them.
I mean, just I don't know. All of my logic went
Well,
out the
the
window.
line didn't even matter
I
in
was
that
like,
game.
It closed at 50-50. for
As soon as
everything.
Jags
Did
entered
it?
the
Yeah.
stadium, it was Niners minus 3.
Yeah, I mean the those teams are in two different weight classes.
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought
Yeah.
I had convinced myself the Jags because of how hot they were. They were winning
They were
everything.
fire.
yep.
Yeah, but their offense is anemic. They
Well,
can't do anything.
Stop ETN.
The
I mean,
receivers,
yeah, if ETN doesn't.
Well, that's what they
go
did.
off.
And I mean, the 49ers D-line now with Chase Young might be the best in the NFL, or at least in that
No, because
conversation.
I mean, like
No,
you
I
have to
agree.
you have to choose if you want to chip Bosa or chip Chase
you do.
Young.
Yeah.
and then that
Otherwise
just
getting a
leaves
sack.
like Eric Armstead or their other interior lineman one-on-one,
Yeah.
and they're both freaks. Like it's just
You're done.
Yeah, they couldn't run at all against them, and I mean, Trevor was under fire all day. Him and the
yeah.
receivers haven't really been on the same page the whole year. He's having very like pedestrian.
shout out Christian Kirk though.
Pedestrian year. Yeah.
He loves Christian Kirk.
He
He does love
Calvin
Christian
Ridley's.
Kirk. No, they were all over Calvin Ridley
No, they were
last
all
week.
over.
They like made a point of it. It was
Yeah.
pretty crazy, but yeah, I was wrong that they were in the same weight class. 49ers had lost a couple games. Jags were on fire. They're not in the same weight class. A team that might be creeping up into that weight class though, sneakily, Vikings. Hottest team in the league, 5 straight wins. Josh Dobbs is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, video was electric. The Josh Dobbs watching his own touchdown. Oh,
To the song, yeah.
you're
To
singing
Creed.
along. Oh,
Anything to
dude,
Creed is just
beautiful.
electric.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Josh Dobbs,
But
you have a
Such
fan
a cool
in me.
story though,
Josh Dobbs is unreal.
because I mean he was balling out on a terrible Cardinals team. They weren't getting a lot of wins, but he was performing
doing great.
well. It wasn't due to him really.
Yeah.
And then gets shipped off to Minnesota, a better team.
Yeah.
And he's
lost.
actually pulling
And they
out
were
wins
kind
now.
of in the dumps.
2-0.
I mean, yeah, he's 2-0. A stat I wanted to bring up just for the podcast: the Vikings are 5-0 in their last 5 games.
Yep.
Does anyone know what happened 5 games ago? Anyone know what happened 5 games ago? Justin Jefferson stopped playing for the Vikings.
Yep.
So with Justin Jefferson, they played 5 games. They were 1-4. Without Justin Jefferson, they even switched quarterbacks midway. 5-0. Was he the problem?
Well, they were dealing with Kirk Cousins. So.
Clearly, that's the only difference.
Was he the problem?
had
I
to
mean,
have
what
been the- He had
changed?
to have been the problem, right?
What changed? They were 3-0 with Kirk after he left, and then 2-0 with Josh Dobbs after he left. The only thing that changed and really was the difference is him leaving.
So I don't know if there's really, I mean, there's no like real evidence to be like, oh, he's the reason they were losing.
Of course.
But it is like an interesting thing just to look at.
Yeah.
Because I think he was thinking about holding out, like
Yeah.
not returning.
Yeah.
But because they've won their last 5 games, he's
coming
hinting-
back this week, they
He's
said.
yeah, either this week or the week after, 100%.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do once he gets back.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something to be said.
It could just be like schematically, like when he's in, like maybe they're trying to force feed him too much or play through him. I don't know. We'll see. But
I mean, it's the same thing you said with the Bills, right? When the Bills offense, you feel like is trying to force feed Stephon Diggs the whole
Stephon
game.
Diggs.
And
the
they're
thing is,
most
like the thing about
one-sided
receivers is like, dude, they're never gonna be happy because you can make them look like the best receiver. Like you can make them look like CeeDee Lamb these past 3 weeks, which is just like
Unreal.
150
Best
yards,
player in fantasy.
unreal. But then the second they have one game that they don't like, they'll just throw a tantrum. Like, dude, you can't worry about them. You have to just like play team football. You know what I mean?
I also think there's something to say about like the Vikings were a good team. I don't think anyone said they were a 1-5 team. So like I think they're now just
No,
playing
they definitely were underperforming.
I think they're just playing the standard now, and the whole like idea of Jefferson being gone was just now they're playing to form.
Sometimes
as a
that
whole?
makes you, when you lose someone
just
really
need a little
key to your
mix-up.
team, that makes your team kind of have to get
Gives them
closer.
motivation.
Well,
Like, I don't
not
know-
motivation, but like you have to refocus and kind of play better together.
Yeah,
Because now
yeah.
you're like, dude, like it's the same thing when like if a quarterback gets hurt for one game.
Yeah.
You know, like Aaron Rodgers. Like you saw the Jets, like you just band together because you're like,
Yeah.
screw it, like our best players out. Like it kind of like fuels you guys as a team. So it could be that as well. And
Yeah,
him getting
100%.
injured made them, and then you lose Kirk. Like everyone's writing you off. It gives you a bigger chip on your shoulder to go prove something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch when he comes back how they perform and see if there's any correlation.
I mean,
I'm
Dobbs might
gonna
sling
love
it.
Josh Dobbs having a wide receiver 1.
Me too.
I mean, he's
Me
never
too.
touched a wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it'll be fun to see him sling into a guy that can ball.
Yeah, we'll see how it affects the team. And lastly, something we have to talk about. I didn't even want to bring it up. I promise I didn't want to bring it up.
No, we didn't want to talk about
We didn't want to talk about it.
it's not a
The Buffalo
conversation.
Bills, Josh Allen. We've talked about him a lot on the show. It's probably
It's a recurring
It's
theme.
probably the most. It's probably the most commented topic we've talked about. When we talk about it, people comment either in agreement or very disagree. I have been very, very, very vocal all season
Yeah.
and preseason.
about your stance.
Josh Allen, complete fraud, and the Bills not being good. They just lost to the Broncos as 7.5-point favorites. You obviously know that.
who
You-
sneakily have
all
been
of
playing
them.
well.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs last week. They're
No, they've
have the
been
best defensive in all of football.
Their defense.
Talking
past
about
5 weeks.
talking about the Bills. A couple things I want to bring up, and then I'll just open up the floor. Josh Allen, Mr. Turnover, is I'm going to start calling him. That guy leading the NFL in picks now.
Mr.
And
Teal.
Again.
after the game, Stephon Diggs' brother
Trayvon.
tweeted out to him,
yeah.
Man, get 14 out of there.
said, "Get him out of there. Just like get him out of there."
I mean, it's classic Diggs.
Can there be? Is it possible for him to actually be an elite quarterback if the brother of your best receiver is actively calling for them not to play together anymore? Like, there's no way the Buffalo Bills fans, I know we have a couple of them here,
Doesn't
or
help
Josh
the
Allen
chemistry.
fans, can look at this objectively and be like, no, Josh Allen's still a premier quarterback. There's no way, right?
I mean, I
well,
still
like,
think he's a very
You can think the guy is, but he's just not having the season. So, for instance, with the current situation with Stephon Diggs, I mean, it's been pretty obvious, all last season, Diggs wasn't happy.
Not happy.
And then you saw it 2 years ago towards the tail end of that, around the playoffs and everything. That's
Which
when
is
it all
weird.
started
it's
off.
weird to not be happy when you're wide receiver 2 in the league.
Well,
You have
because
10 wins.
they're not,
because they're not winning.
Yeah.
You're not a
you
bad
win the
team.
division. You
Yeah.
you
No,
get
no,
to
not the division.
divisional
Because the
game.
division's given. I mean, it's especially 2 years ago when
but
you
how
had the
could you not
Jets
be
and the
happy
Patriots.
about
2 years ago, he went
just
to
not winning?
Stephon Diggs went to AFC Championship. He won round before the AFC Championship.
They're getting worse every
2
year.
years
Yeah, they're getting worse.
But it's just for me as a wide receiver, I'd be like, all right, it's very hard to make the Super Bowl as it is. Only 12 teams do
Well,
it.
2 years ago,
That's-
they didn't even they made the divisional and lost. And then last year,
I'm saying when Stephon Diggs has been on the team, what he's made. Maybe he hasn't made a
only
Super
his
Bowl.
first year. His
But,
first year on the
nobody's-
team, they made the AFC.
I don't
Yeah.
nobody. No, not very many top 5 wide receivers made the Super Bowl.
You've got to think he has his eyes on the Chiefs. You have to think that's where he's looking to go.
Yeah.
They're the only top
Chiefs-
team without
Chiefs
a wide
or-
receiver.
I don't think
That
he's
would
trying
be
to leave.
insane.
I think
I
it's
think
all
he-
just bad public image.
No, I think he legit wants to leave. And this is the problem. I'm gonna relay back to when we were talking about Justin Jefferson. He was throwing his tantrums. Dude, you can't worry about making these guys happy.
Yeah.
You can't. They're especially wide receivers, especially. They're kind of for NFL, they're the guys that the Steph Currys or the Dames that hit the deep threes. They're what people show up to watch because it's
Yeah.
what kids want to be. No kids really want to be running backs anymore. Everyone wants to be a receiver and do the Odell one-handed catch.
Yeah.
And these guys think they're bigger than what they are. And dude, you
Yes.
cannot.
Also, one thing that we never point out once as Bills, talking about Bills, Sean McDermott needs to get fired.
dude, I've said this low key.
Maybe you've mentioned it, but I've never even
I've
thought
said
about
he's-
it.
Well, I mean-
I
I've said
bring
he's
it up,
over-
he's the good coach or whatever.
No,
he's
I've
a-
always said he's an overrated coach
But,
because he's such a defensive-minded coach. And this is the thing I've brought up a few times when Brian Daboll left. He was the only person who could clean up Josh Allen, and ever since he's left,
Every year.
every year's gotten worse.
But McDermott
and
is
McDermott literally just doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't care.
And
And,
the
and that's why I
intention-
don't think he's a good coach because all he cares about is defense, and he doesn't care what Josh Allen does. He just goes whatever, just it'll work, and you can't keep annoying.
No, he's a terrible head
it's-
coach, and I was wrong. I thought he.
I don't
was-
think he's terrible, but
funny
he's
we're-
definitely not a premier head
He's
coach because
bad.
people looked at the team and thought the head coach was on the same level, but no.
It's
He's-
crazy how we look at only Josh Allen. The coach needs to be
Well, because
murdered. No, Josh
the
Allen's
12
terrible.
men,
Don't
the
get-
12
don't get me
men
wrong.
on the 12 men on the field was that's a coaching. That's not Josh
That's
Allen.
what I'm saying.
you know what I mean?
when I look
But
at
also
the game,
every-
they say
Josh Allen's
But also but Josh Allen,
He should have told him.
you
You
can't
gotta get him off,
we can't I think we just have to hold him more accountable because I talk a lot of shit about Dak Prescott, and dude, if you look at career-wise numbers,
He's
it's not that
shown
much different than Josh Allen.
I put him in the exact same group as Josh Allen.
and Josh Allen, since he's entered the NFL, has the most turnovers by 11 turnovers, the next
Yeah.
closest person.
Yeah.
Also, his wide receivers suck. I mean,
Who?
Josh Allen's?
did you not watch the game?
Stephon
One
Diggs.
of the
And
most
Gabe
drops
Davis?
in a game. It was a
What
pick.
are you saying? They played a bad game or they suck?
This year they've been playing terrible. I mean, Gabe Davis might have went silent this year. And everyone thought he was one of the best wide receiver twos in like.
I
football.
never thought he was one of the best wide
I mean,
receivers.
if we name off the wide receiver twos, he's definitely up there. He's been great.
I don't know.
with Josh
It would
Allen.
have taken me a while to get. To
I don't think their receivers are.
I mean, I watched last game. They have so many opportunities down the field.
It's not even.
Especially the
But it's not.
turnover
You
in-
can't
but
blame
it's
Gabe
things-
Davis. They got Dalton Kincaid, who Josh Allen. Like, that's more on like who he's targeting. You know what I mean?
It's things like this that bother me though with the Josh Allen. I feel like there's always excuses for him.
No, but I'm saying, but my thing is the excuse when you talk about it, you haven't talked about the coach, you don't talk about the defense, you don't talk about the wide receivers. Like the drop,
Yeah.
like Josh Allen's first touchdown on the Broncos, 12, 13 yards.
Did you see his interceptions?
Yeah. Exactly my point. One of them, Gabe Davis in his hands on a route.
Did you see the second interception?
Correct. It was a bad throw. It was Josh Allen's
But
fault.
even the
He
first
does
one,
it every game.
even the first one though, like the one where, like yes, like Gabe
Dude, it
Davis
was in the
no,
motherfucker's hands,
just
like-
listen though, just listen. Yes, Gabe Davis, like he's a receiver, should have caught it right. But the thing about Josh Allen is that you see him make that interception like a lot. It's like, dude, like
Too
at some
often
point,
than
at some
not.
point, you gotta like. I don't know. Like you got to know your receivers. Like maybe don't throw it 150 miles per hour when the dude's running.
That's a
Like
wild mid-game thought. Okay, zone coverage 2-4. Okay, I'm snapping
well,
the
it's
ball. I
not
have
a
to save
mid-game
blitz.
thought. It's you before the snap. You know who's your first read.
Yep.
You go to him. You go. Okay, I know Gabe's first read. Like okay, just like before the play even start, like before it's hiked, you know. Okay, I'm not gonna laser this.
What if
like,
there's two
80%?
safeties and there's a person right
I
in
mean,
the
like
middle?
you see Tom Brady, like his whole career. You saw Peyton Manning. Like they didn't have
People-
the strongest arms.
you can
just
figure out
You
how to
throw
get
a
it.
catchable ball. Like I don't know.
Josh Allen could suck this year, but that's a wild.
You
thing
can
to
figure
say.
out how to
It's
get.
not. But it's consistent. If it was a one-off thing, I'd give it to you every now
That's
and
my
then.
point. Yeah, that's
It's
my
like repeated. Like it's not this thing that like
You're an NFL wide receiver. I don't care how fucking hard the ball's thrown. Catch the ball with your hands. You're paid millions of dollars to do
Yeah.
one thing. Go like this. If it's like this and it's a heater, that's fine. But it's when here this is a heater.
But if you
catch the ball.
if you need to put touch on a ball to get something there, if you know it's not consistently not a catch, that's the thing. When it happens
if a
every
quarterback
time,
goes to a
yeah.
wide receiver 10
but
yards
if
away
it,
100
but
times,
if it, what's
he's
the
gonna catch the
definition
ball.
of insanity? Doing the same thing over and
and
over
expecting
again,
different
expecting a
results.
different
Josh
result.
Allen isn't thinking mid-throw how hard I'm
You
throwing.
should,
like I
but
said,
you
you
have
you
to
have
as
to
a
adjust
quarterback.
to that
That's
as-
exactly what you
So
have
the
to do.
safety picks it off when he lobs
no,
it.
because
I'm not saying lob it.
quarterbacks actually do think about a lot of that stuff, like during the play. Like I've actually heard specific interviews, like Joe Burrow, like will look at a coverage and he sees, okay, Jamar's coming here, and the corner or like the safety or whatever, whoever's guarding him is like really tight here. So he knows, okay, I'm going to place it a little further out because he's like, if I throw this a little bit behind, dude can make a play on
Yeah,
it. Like,
quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, but
those are
that's-
things that
that's
quarterbacks
in the
like-
moment because this corner can make a bad jump.
Yeah,
So it's in the
I
second.
think what we're getting at is Josh Allen doesn't have the instincts it takes to play quarterback.
The
I think that's what you're saying, right? He can't think about it in the moment. If
problem with
he
your
just
takes,
doesn't have
your
the it
takes are
factor.
just like this or this.
He
There's
just doesn't
never
have-
logic
Well, he's a
in between.
gunslinger. He just kind of just wings
He
it.
just goes for it, which
And
is
he's
great. You can be a
immensely
good-
talented.
You can be a starting quarterback.
Probably
in
the
NFL.
most talented quarterback under Patrick Mahomes. No, just
Wow.
physical talent. Who can run like him? Who has the arms? You know what I mean? I'm not saying performance-wise.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd put Lamar and Jalen Hurts up there
Hurts
too.
is-
Lamar and Jalen Hurts cannot throw it like
but
Josh Allen.
also Josh Allen is tough. Like that guy just gets hit and rocked around everywhere, and he gets up every time.
Yeah, I mean we talk a lot about
that's
Josh
enough
Allen.
Josh
I'm sure we'll talk about him more. We're getting a little heated. I like it. I love.
They'll be in the
energy.
playoffs.
Is he a top 5 QB? Just yes or no?
no.
No.
Yes.
Right now,
Yeah.
or
Do you
just
think?
or in general?
No, in general, is he
Like
top
in the
5
NFL
QB?
right now?
NFL.
Oh, wow. All right. Well,
Wait,
I'm
where
sure.
do you-
I
where
have
do you
him
say?
I have him at 5,
Wow.
Yeah,
but he slid
he's
down.
5.
He's
I'm
slid
around
down.
the like 9 to 12 range, but I'm sure we'll come back to this plenty of times throughout the season because the Bills provide endless entertainment. We have their game on the schedule for our Friday NFL game, so we're gonna talk about it. The only pick we get to make this week is the Thursday night pick. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable game.
Huge game.
Finally.
Huge game. Let's go talk about it. Thursday night football action, and like we said, it is finally a game that we can watch and enjoy. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the Bears, Panthers. It's not none of these trash teams.
Yeah.
Two teams currently in the playoff picture. Bengals at Ravens. Huge game.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore minus 3.5. Total is 46.5. I'm starting with Mario over on that end. How do we feel about this Thursday night showdown?
I can finally talk about the Bengals.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why could you not?
He said no comment.
So
whenever he
yeah, I was no commenting the Bengals for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
So it
still
started.
I don't understand why.
It started
Yeah.
2 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks before their bye week. I started just fading the Bengals. And before, we never had them on our slate to talk about.
Yeah.
So I would just give out the pick on my card. And I would just fade the Bengals. And I noticed every time I bet them, they'd just lose outright. And every time I faded them, they would win outright.
Ooh.
So I started fading them. And they went on like a 5-game win streak. So that's why I couldn't know. I had
Sharp.
to no comment. I had to know. But now they lost.
So you can.
So
you're back to
everything, yeah.
Out the window.
clean slate.
Clean slate.
I love it.
No, dude, this is a huge game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bengals, similar situation, honestly, to the Bills. Like, very similar situation. They have, like, a tough remaining schedule, and they can't really afford too many more losses if they want to conceivably get in, especially, like, their division, too, is looking...
Best division in football.
I mean, yeah, every team's above 500. Like, it's crazy. So, huge game. I like the under in this game to start off there. Under 46.5. I just think it's going to be a tough, gritty game, kind of like how this division always is whenever teams play each other. I think the Ravens are like legit just too good. I know they choked it away to the Browns, but the Bengals don't nearly have that Browns defense.
Yeah, not even close.
And I mean, credit to Deshaun, who hasn't looked like himself since obviously the Houston days, but he did catch a little bit of a rhythm in that game. Like, you saw him like start to get hot.
There was a couple of plays he made that looked like the old Houston days, where
And
he's
it's
like
just-
almost getting sacked, throwing touch. Like,
And I think Deshaun's a little bit more athletic with his legs compared to Burrow. I think Burrow can run, but it's just I think Deshaun's just a little more elusive. I think they'll spread the ball out a little more. T. Higgins is still questionable.
He's probably not
Is
playing.
probably not going to play. So it's like he's really going to have Jamar, and it's kind of Jamar's kind of the same thing with like Justin Jefferson, where like if you target him, like he might do well fantasy wise, but it doesn't guarantee you a win. You know what I mean? It's kind of like for most receivers, really.
so you're going with the Ravens.
So I like the Ravens minus 3.5.
So you like the Ravens in the under.
I like the
Side
Ravens
in the total.
Side in the total.
Ravens in the under. Mike, how do you feel?
Wow, I am with you on the total. I am for sure on the under. Ravens still having the number 1 defense, and then the Bengals being right at the halfway point with the number 16 defense. I think it, like Mario said, going to be tough, going to be gritty. Where I disagree is I'm actually going to go Bengals plus 3.5 here. I think
I can
so.
see
The two things that kept the Browns in the game last week is, one, the way that they were able to control the time of possession. Like the second half, I think they out possessed them by like 10 minutes or something like
Shout out
that.
Lamar.
It was ridiculous. And so that's number 1. Number 2, they were able to get, I think, a team total of like 176 rushing yards. Bengals have a better rushing team with Joe Mixon than I think the Browns and Ford.
No shot.
No shot.
No shot. Browns are the best rushing team in football.
Might have the second best offensive line on top.
I mean, their offensive
I
line
think
is
the Browns
ridiculous.
have the
but
most rushing yards in football.
look,
They might, they probably.
No,
are
I mean,
there.
there's
So-
literally always one or two. Like the
I think they
Ravens
have
and
the
Browns
most
are always
rushing
the 2
yards.
best rushing
Yeah.
teams. And the 49ers.
That was
So,
that's just wrong.
Like Joe Mixon hasn't done anything.
Look,
this year.
No, Joe Mixon's actually been very good.
But
so
like,
yeah,
not-
that's kind of my thing.
but
Is I
compared
think
to we're talking like top. We're talking about the
No,
best.
yeah, rushing offense is a lot different than better running back.
Totally.
you're right. I think I said that completely wrong. I think Joe Mixon is a better running back. Not that the Bengals have a better rushing team.
Sure.
Mario's right. I think I did say that wrong. But that's number 1. I think Joe Burrow is better than Deshaun Watson too. I'm just gonna go Bengals plus 3.5, and I'm gonna
and
go
they
the
lose by
under
a field goal.
46.5.
Yeah. What's up?
The Bengals are dead last in total rushing.
I told you, bro.
No,
It's not like it makes it like
What
bad,
are
it's
the
just he's
Browns?
by himself.
One and 3. Ravens 1. Browns.
It's because the Browns have multiple.
I literally said the Ravens and Browns every year, 1 and 2.
Yeah. No, it's insane. Quickly for this pick, I'm just going to give out the side and the total like I do every week. We've been hot on them. Absolutely airballed last Thursday night.
Right back.
I'm giving you 2 picks that cannot miss.
Okay.
Bengals plus 3.5. You're taking the outright as well. Also, you're going to go the over 46.5. I feel like everyone is loving under here. It's an under game. The defense from the Ravens, the rushing attack, the T. Higgins not playing, the Ravens maybe not looking as good as you'd like them to look the last couple weeks.
Tyler Boyd dropping the.
Yeah. I mean, you got everything going on. Bengals outright, so you're taking them plus the points and the over. Side and the total.
Yeah, I do like the over, but not because of that reason. I like the over because I think this is like the Niners Jags, 2 tiers of football being played.
Bengals, Ravens.
Ravens, Bengals.
Ooh. I don't know.
Heavily on the defensive side, I just think the Ravens can slow down Burrow. I don't think it's possible to stop Burrow in the offense. I think they could put up 20 points, but the Ravens running the ball, if the Browns couldn't stop it, which they couldn't. I mean, they came back because Lamar threw a pick and weird ending to the game. Probably
What a
wouldn't happen.
drive by Deshaun.
97% or whatever they were supposed to
that was
win.
actually
They were
wild.
running all over one of the best, if not the best, rushing defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what the Ravens are going to do to the Bengals. I can't even literally imagine it. They might have 300 rushing yards as a team. Like I think it's
But the
going to be.
Bengals are going to have to be perfect every time they get the ball.
They're going to have to score so much, and that's why I like the over because that's the only way they're going to keep it with the Ravens. But I'm going to take the Ravens minus 3.5. Just better tier.
See, that's why. Sorry to just jump before tape, but I think that's why I like the under. Is just because I think the Ravens are going to run all over them
just don't
and
think
just
the Bengals-
long drives, and then
I think
Bengals I think get stopped on a few drives because like literally like you said, like the only way the over hits is like every time the Bengals get the ball,
That's
like they have to
score.
score.
Or Ravens
yeah.
score 38, like 13.
Yeah,
Wow, I don't know.
Dude, the
This is a-
Ravens,
this is
when
gonna
they
be a
play
good
a team that can't, they score. Dude, they don't stop running. They're
This
backups,
is-
backups,
no,
backups
yeah.
for running.
And like we said, this is a massive game for the division. Tate, where do you lean here?
I'm gonna go everything right with Tyler. I love the over. I'm gonna rock with Joe Burrow.
I thought you
plus the
said you were
3.5.
only betting Joe Burrow until he lost you.
What?
I thought you were telling you
yeah,
said
you
I'm
said
ri-
that last week.
You said I'm riding Joe Burrow until he loses me.
And then he lost.
Well, I wasn't. I'm not gonna change because he lost, but I'm still.
Oh, you're just
Oh, he's
riding
just-
Joe Burrow throughout the whole year.
You're a writer.
Bang!
Oh,
Okay, it's a rider. I
He's
love
a
it.
rider.
He's
a
I thought
rider.
you were saying like he's gonna. You're doing it the whole year.
Shout
Tate
out
the rider.
Joe Burrow. Shout
Well,
out
no,
Joe
I
Burrow.
said it like hoping that he wouldn't. He
The whole
wouldn't
year. You're
lose.
Joe Burrow rider whole year.
Yes.
Whole year.
But now that he
Joe
lost,
Burrow-
you're still writing.
Bengals Super.
Yeah, I'm still writing.
So
Oh,
you just taking the side?
Oh, if
No
Bengals
total?
make
No,
it
the
to the
total
playoffs,
over.
He's over.
Oh, the over. Oh, you're
Yeah,
taking
no,
both of
they're-
them. All right,
they're-
let's go, baby.
They're
Let's roll.
right.
I mean, there you have it. There's your picks.
they make the playoffs.
There's your picks.
I'll
Shark
bet-
just can be. Wait, what are you betting?
Any amount.
What are you betting?
I'll
I
bet you any amount.
I said if Bengals somehow make the playoffs, they will make the AFC Championship.
I'll bet you $100 straight up right now. That they will not make the AFC Championship.
If they make the
Pull it
playoffs.
up.
If they make
If
playoffs.
they make the playoffs, well, there is a contingency.
Ooh.
So, and you're
Oh.
probably not going to agree to this.
Here it comes.
It's only if
He
they
doesn't
don't
play
play
Mahomes?
if they don't play
Yeah.
Mahomes, because they'll beat every other team but Mahomes.
But there's only two other teams. You know what I mean?
No, I know, but that's just
Going into Jacksonville is gonna be a tough one. It's a tough environment.
it will be tough. I just think.
Don't murder.
All right, are we doing the bet? Are we doing the bet or
I
not?
mean,
no,
they've
no
been there
contingencies.
2 years in a row. I mean,
No
they can
contingencies.
make it. They
Are we
don't
doing the
contingencies.
Are we doing the bet or
No
not? No contingencies. All right, no contingencies.
contingencies.
There you have it. We gave you our Thursday night picks.
God, what a good match.
It's fun. It's fun to give picks.
That's
And you know
fun.
what we're gonna be doing tomorrow and on Friday?
Giving a lot of
picks.
Giving
A
out
lot of picks.
more
More
of
picks.
picks. So before you go ahead, like, comment, subscribe on the videos, and make sure to tune in tomorrow for college football action. We have some huge games and big cards. We're going to be giving out a Mortal Parlay where we want to pay you some money. So drop a comment, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow for college football.